Nature and effect of obligations. According to 1163 of the New Civil Code, it provides that every person obliged to give something is also obliged to take care of it with the proper diligence of a good father of a family, unless the law or the stipulation of the parties requires another standard of care. First, the law specifically stated something. Ano ba yung something na tinatawag natin? We have to determine muna yung something because technically speaking, there are two kinds of a thing. One is a determinate thing and the other one is a generic thing. Ano yung tinatawag nating determinate thing? A thing is said to be specific or determinate, particularly designated or physically segregated from others of the same class. Okay, I will repeat. A thing is determinate when it is particularly designated or physically segregated from all others of the same class. Example, a 2022 Toyota Corolla with engine number 123456 with body number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and plate number MEN 045. That's a very good example of a determinate thing because it is clearly stated ano ba yung determinate thing na yun. What else? The house located at 44A Lincoln Street, San Francisco del Monte, Barangay San Antonio, Quezon City. Ano pa? My horse named Black Stallion. Siyempre, pag sinabi mo yung kabayo ko na yung pangalan na Black Stallion, specific. Kahit na marami akong kabayong alaga, kung yung aking kabayong sinasabi ay yung Black Stallion. My wristwatch. Kung marami akong wristwatch, that's another story. But if I say my Rolex na wristwatch, then we are very, very specific about it. Okay? Now, a thing is indeterminate or generic when it is not particularly designated or physically segregated from all others of the same class. Example, pag sinabi kong horse, ordinary horse lang. No need to say any specificity, basta horse lang or a car. So yun pa lang is itself generic. Okay? So ano bang importansya? Why is it important na malaman natin na itong mga bagay na to ay kailangan alam mo kung paano i-designate kung specific or generic. It is important to know because as a rule, according to Article 1262 of the New Civil Code, the loss of a determinate thing through a fortuitous event extinguishes the obligation. Okay? Pag ang isang bagay ay nawala dahil sa isang fortuitous event, it extinguishes the obligation. Okay? Yun ang importansya. Take note of that. Okay? Next. Of course, since we now know na yung pinag-uusapan natin sa ating provision na 1163 ay determinate thing, ano ba ang mga duties ng isang obligor or debtor sa pagbibigay ng determinate thing? What are the duties and obligation to give a determinate thing? First, preserve the thing. Di ba? Kung ano yung napag-usapan nyo, kung ano yung determinate thing, you have to preserve it. And manners of preservation, first, diligence of a good father. Okay? The phrase has been equated with ordinary care or that diligence with an average person exercises over his own property. So, ang ibig sabihin lang, pag ikaw ay may-ari ng isang property, kung paano mo alagaan ang isang property mo, Yun ang ine-expect na paraan kung paano mo alagaan ang dapat obligasyon mong i-deliver sa iyong creditor. It is just a reasonable prudence ang nire-require sa inyo. Okay? Now, except another standard of care is being required kung kayo ay may nagpinag-usapan or stipulation or may batas na nagsasabi na dapat hindi lang ordinary diligence or ordinary care. Pwedeng slight or pwedeng extraordinary diligence ang iyong ipapakita sa mga bagay na dapat mong gawin. One example is the law on common carrier. Sinasabi sa common carrier that the transportation of persons should be given an extraordinary diligence of a very cautious person. Dapat due regard ang all circumstances. Hindi pa pwedeng pabara-bara because we are talking about lives. Very clear ang batas dyan. So in this case, it's either the law or the stipulation of parties ang magro-rule kung ano yung kailangan gamitin na standard of care. Okay? Simple lang din. O, cake. Para sa inyo, ba nagpa-deliver kayo ng cake? Di ba nakalagay dyan, fragile? O, yung fragile na yun, ibig sabihin, ingatan mo. Hindi lang ordinaryong pwede mong ibalagbag. Kailangan pa nag-drive ka, hindi pa pwede bigla kang gagawa ng sudden stop. Because the standard of care necessary for you to deliver a cake may be considered extraordinary diligence. Okay? Ano yung mga factors natin na kailangang i-consider? Siyempre, kasama na rito yung according to Article 73 of the New Civil Code, the diligence required necessary depends upon the nature of the obligation and corresponds with the circumstances of the person, of the time, and of the place. Okay? So, gaya nga ng sinabi ko, alangan namang mag-deliver ka ng ice cream. Wala naman ikaw cooler. So, paano yun? Di pag dumating yun sa dideliveran mo. Tapos, ang delivery mo sa Antipolo or sa, kung baga di sa Pampanga, kung ang delivery mo is simula Guago hanggang Angeles, wala kang cooler. Abay, natunaw na siya. Hindi na siya ice cream. Baka milkshake na siya. Okay? So, all of these things should be considered in the obligation to give a determinate thing. Or what else? Ano pang isang duty? One duty is to deliver the thing. Okay? Paano mo naman i-deliver ang isang bagay? Okay? Ang pinaka-importante sa pag-deliver ng isang bagay is ito involves placing the thing in the possession or control of the creditor either actually or constructively. Okay? Siyempre, merong... Ano bang ibig sabihin nun, sir? Nung actually or constructively. One consideration when you say act actually is that pag inabot mo yung deliver mo diretso sa tao, then that is actually. But when you speak of constructively, meron kasing delivery, nanalo ka ng kotse, binigay mo yung susi. Diba? Susi pa lang is considered already a delivery kahit na wala pa yung kotse. The mere fact na nasa yung susi, it is already a sign that you have already received yung thing na yon. Okay? Ano pa? Even the title, pag sa lote, pag sa bahay, pwede ring susi. So all of these things are considered delivery of a thing if it is already in the possession of the creditor or the obligee. Okay? Ano pa? Deliver the fruits of the thing. That's the number 3 duty. Deliver the fruits of the thing. Kailangan mo muling malaman. Ano ba yung mga different kinds of fruits? Diba? Kasi meron ng 3. So, pag deliver mo, alamin na muna natin. What are the different kinds of fruits? Meron tayong tinatawag na natural fruits. They are the spontaneous products of the soil and the young and other products of animals. That's Article 442 of the New Civil Code. Thus, ito yung mga tree na natural na tumubo dun sa mga lupa nang wala syempreng intervention of man. Halimbawa, bumili ka ng lupa, may nakita ka na rin mangga na nakatubo, sa'yo na yun, kasama yun. Tumubo yun doon, o kung ano man, ipil-ipil, o akasya man. Pag binili mo, it is already considered a natural fruit. O kasama doon, pag dineliver ang kuting, no, pusa, dineliver sa'yo, kasama na yung kuting as a natural fruit. Okay? Now, paano naman yung number 2? Yung industrial fruits. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng industrial fruits? Industrial fruits, ito naman yung to those produced by land of any kind through cultivation of labor. That is also Article 442 of the New Civil Code. Samples dito, rice, corn, and other crops na na-produce through intervention of human labor. Number 3, the third kind of fruits, civil fruits. They refer to fruits which are the result of a juridical relation such as rent ng building, price of a lease of land and other property, and the amount of perpetual or life annuities. Okay? Kasama rin yun. Like, halimbawa, yung inyong, ano ba example ng, yung mga insurance, that is life annuities, pension, kasama yan. Okay? Kung meron mga civil foods na ganyan, na posible kayong ma-encounter. What else? These are the different kinds of fruits. Now, the question is, kailan ba magkakaroon ng karapatan ang isang creditor sa fruits na sinasabi natin? When nag-a-arise, okay? Lalo na kung ito ay determinate thing. The creditor has the right to the fruits of a thing from the time the obligation to deliver it arises. However, he shall acquire no real right over it until the thing has been delivered to him. Okay? Tandaan niyo yung mga terms ha. This is Article 1164 of the New Civil Code. Again, kung ang usapan ay February 14, today is February 21. Ang usapan dapat i-deliver yung aso ng February 14, hindi na i-deliver kasi ng anak. Kanino yung anak? Sa creditor. Yung creditor na ngayon ang may-ari ng anak kasi kasama yun sa mga fruits. Yun ay natural fruit nung ating aso. Okay? However, he shall acquire no real right over it until the thing has been delivered. I-discuss ko yung real right and personal right ngayon. Okay? Pero ito kasi yung mga rights ng creditor eh. Okay? I will proceed with letter D para maintindihan yung real right and personal right. Sabi natin, wala siyang real right hanggat hindi na di-deliver sa kanya. Because there are two kinds of rights ng creditor. Ito yung personal right at saka real right. Pag sinabi mong personal right, it is your right na pwede mong i-enforce that may be enforced by one person on another, such as the right of the creditor to demand the delivery of the thing and its fruits from the debtor. This is also called jus personam or jus ad rem. Ibig sabihin, ang inaakuan mo pa lang, you want to enforce your right, pumunta ka kung sinong ka-counter mo doon sa obligation in terms ka ng creditor against his debtor or the obligee against his against his obligor, I mean. Okay? O ngayon, paano na yung sinasabing real right? Kasi hindi ka pa raw magkakaroon ng real right. Ano ba yung real right? When we speak of real right, this refers to the right or power over a specific thing such as possession or ownership, which is a right enforceable against the whole world. Ibig sabihin, pag nasa akin na to, wala nang pwedeng kumuha nito, wala nang pwedeng manggalaw kasi ako na may-ari nito. At kahit sino pa ang lumapit sa akin, akin ito. Okay? That is real right. And it is also called use and re. And of course, pag tinanong nyo, lahat ng fruits shall be delivered as well, kung meron man. May either be natural, civil, or industrial. Okay? O ano pang duties? What other duties does an obliger or debtor? Ano pa yung mga duties? To deliver accessions and accessories. Yan. Ano ba yung mga accession and accessories na yan? Accessions, this includes everything that is produced by a thing or is incorporated or attached thereto, either naturally or artificially. That is Article 440 of the New Civil Code. Such as alluvium. Ano ba yung alluvium na tinatawag natin? The alluvium is the soil gradually deposited by the current of a river on a riverbank or whatever is built, planted or sown before a parcel of land. Bibigyan ko kayo ng mas magandang example. Halimbawa yung river nyo or meron kayong sapa sa tabi nyo. Yung sapa, pag regularly tumatakbo yan, yung tubig na yan, nagdadala yan ng lupa. Tapos gradually, lumalaki yung lupa na yun. Ang tanong, sino na may-ari ng lupa? The owner of the property is the owner of the alluvium o yung soil na naipon is the owner of the adjacent property. Kung saan nakatapat, kung kanino yung property na yon. Ngayon, kung binili yon, kasama na yon sa nabili. Naintindihan nyo yung concept na ganon? Yung lupa na dumami. Like, for example, bigyan na lang natin ng kunyari, 7,107 islands of the Philippines. 7,107 kasi pag high tide, 100 lang. Pag low tide, 107. Nagkataon yung isang isla, ang may-ari yung katabi, so ibig sabihin, pag low tide, siya may-ari nun. Pag high tide, wala eh. Diba? So that is alluvium. Okay? Yun ay kung may may-ari ng isla na katabi. Kung wala naman, walang may-ari. Diba? Ang may-ari nun, Pilipinas. Now, accessories. Those joined to or included with the principal thing for the latter's better use, perfection, or enjoyment. Such as, of course, example, bracelet ng relo. Alam naman pag binili mo, i-deliver mo yung relo lang, wala yung bracelet. Paano naman gagamitin ng tao yun? Diba? Ngayon, pag bumili ka ng kotse, kasama na ang tint, kasama na ang radyo. Diba? Hindi na pwedeng hindi kasama kasi or aircon specifically, hindi ka pwedeng bumibili ng walang kasamang aircon. Lalo na pag brand new. Diba? Yun yung una mong tinitignan. Okay? And of course, the last duty of an obliger or debtor is to answer for damages in case of breach. In case na hindi ito magagawa ng paraan or matutupad, hindi matutuloy ang obligasyon, tawag doon ay may breach na. So, pag may breach, dapat magbayad ng damages. Okay? O, so, anong remedies ng creditor? Siyempre, kung halimbawang hindi nagawa, ano mga remedies ng creditor? If the debtor fails to deliver a determinate thing, anong gagawin ng creditor? Compel, pilitin na mag-deliver ang debtor. Kung hindi siya mag-deliver, demand for damages. If the debtor fails to deliver a generic thing, compel ulit. Ano? Paano i-compel naman? O, i-compel niya ngayon na mag-deliver kung hindi man equal, dapat superior doon sa napag-usapan. Kung halimbawa, ang usapan ay 1 kilo na papaya, ganun kalaki, hindi ma-deliver. Ngayon, kung hindi mo ma-deliver yung 1 kilong papaya, dahil generic lang naman yun, papaya lang naman yun, o maghanap ka ng papaya pero wag naman less than 1 kilo. Dapat kung hindi 1 kilo, more than 1 kilo. At again, kung hindi matutupad yon, to demand damages. Okay? Hindi kaya kasi problema dun sa specific. Pag nag-require ka ng specific thing, kung ano yung pag-usapan yun nang i-deliver mo. Kaya mas mahirap yun. Bayad ka talaga dun. Equivalent to the amount, if not to the amount, mas malaki pa. Plus damages. Okay? Now, if the debtor fails to perform obligation to do, ano ibig sabihin ng obligation to do? Pwedeng it contravenes to the tenor of the obligation. When you say contravenes to the tenor, ang order mo upuan, ang order mo mesa, dinala upuan. Hindi naman natin napag-usapan ang lames, ang upuan. Bakit upuan ang ginawa mo? Lamesa ang upuan na ang usapan natin. Clearly, it contravenes to the tenor. So, ibig sabihin, what the creditor can do is magpagawa siya ng mesa sa iba. At ang magbabayad doon, yung debtor. O kung halimbawa, low quality or be poorly done. Kung poorly done naman, ang pwede namang mangyari doon is ipaayos mo. O, sino bang magbabayad doon? Debtor pa rin ang magbabayad. So, that is the performance of an obligation to do. Okay? Yun yung mga remedies ng creditor. O ano naman yung isa pa? If the debtor does what has been forbidden, huwag mong gawin yan. Ginawa mo pa rin. Diba? So, anong remedies ng creditor? Demand has been done, be undone. O, mag-demand ka na, huwag mong gawin yan. O, binarahan mo yung lupa ko, tanggalin mo yung pagkakabara niya. Bakit mo nilagyan ng gate yan? Tanggalin mo. Bakit mo hinukay yan? Patubig na yan. Balik mo yan. Okay? If not, kung ipapagawa mo sa iba, babayaran yon again, plus damages. Okay? Ano pa ulit? Ngayon, ano naman yung duties ng isang debtor to deliver a generic thing? Kanina, specific thing. Ngayon, generic thing. To deliver a thing which is of quality intended by the parties, taking into consideration of the purpose of the obligation and other circumstances. Yan yung sinasabi ko. Diba? I am very, very clear with that. Kung hindi man same quality, dapat superior naman. Superior naman yung iyong ibibigay. Okay? And again, to be liable for damages. Parati nyo narinig yung damages na yan. Ano ba yung mga damages na yan? Okay? Fraud, negligence, or delay in the performances of his obligation or contravention of the tenor. Okay? Now, didiscuss natin yung mga grounds for liability for damages. Kasi binanggit na natin dyan na liable for damages siya in case of fraud, negligence, or delay in the performance of his obligation or contravention of tenor. Okay? Typo error. Tenor yon. Okay? So, explain natin isa-isa kung ano yung mga yan. Okay?